Most people believe that if their income goes up, their wealth will follow. But for many working professionals in the United States and Europe, the opposite quietly happens. The salary increases, the lifestyle expands, and somehow real wealth never appears. So the uncomfortable question becomes this: are you actually building wealth, or are you simply financing a lifestyle? Let's look at a very normal example. Imagine someone named Alex. Alex is 29 years old and works a stable job in a mid-sized city. After taxes, Alex brings home about $4,200 per month. It feels like a good salary, certainly better than a few years ago when Alex was earning much less. But the monthly money flow looks something like this: rent for a decent apartment, $1,600, car payment for a relatively new SUV, $520, insurance and fuel about $300, student loan payment, $350, groceries, phone, internet, utilities, around $700. Already, the majority of Alex's income is gone. And then there are the smaller lifestyle expenses that feel completely normal: streaming subscriptions, weekend dinners with friends, a few online purchases, maybe a short vacation financed on a credit card. Another $500 to $700 disappears without much thought. By the end of the month, Alex might save $200, maybe $300 if everything goes well. On paper, Alex is doing what society considers successful: stable job, nice apartment, newer car, social life that looks healthy on Instagram. But something important is missing: ownership. Because much of Alex's lifestyle isn't actually owned, it's financed. The apartment belongs to the landlord, the car mostly belongs to the bank, the student loans belong to the lender, and even some of the past experiences are still sitting on a credit card balance. And this is where a small piece of math becomes uncomfortable. That $520 car payment, for example, may run for 6 years. That's roughly $37,000 paid over time for a vehicle that will likely lose more than half its value. If the same $520 per month had been invested instead, earning a modest 7% annual return, after 10 years it could grow to roughly $90,000. Not from a huge sacrifice, just from redirecting one common lifestyle decision. But here's the important part. Most people don't make these choices because they're irresponsible. They make them because of psychology. Modern life quietly trains people to treat income as a permission slip for lifestyle upgrades. When salaries rise, expectations rise with them. A better apartment feels reasonable. A nicer car feels deserved. A few financed purchases feel manageable. And socially, this behavior is completely normal. In fact, it's often rewarded. Friends see the car, colleagues notice the apartment, social media shows the vacation. But wealth works very differently from status. Status is visible, wealth is mostly invisible. And because of that, many intelligent, hardworking people spend 10 or 15 years earning good salaries while their net worth barely moves. Not because they failed, but because they unknowingly financed a lifestyle before building ownership. Financially thoughtful people tend to see the same situation differently. They don't ask first, "Can I afford the payment?" They quietly ask something else: "What does this cost me in future ownership?" They understand that every monthly payment competes with long-term freedom, and over time those quiet decisions compound, not dramatically at first, but steadily. 5 years later, one person has a slightly nicer lifestyle and very little saved. Another person has a simpler lifestyle, but real assets slowly growing in the background. Both lives can look successful from the outside, but only one is quietly building independence. And that difference usually comes down to a single shift in thinking. Not how much can I finance, but how much can I actually own? If this way of thinking about money interests you, consider subscribing. Because sometimes the most useful financial insights aren't about making more money, they're about seeing the system a little more clearly.